Here we are back at the South Dakota shop, and we're doing our next phase on the King Turbo, getting it ready. We are looking into, shoot, it's March already, so we got to get this thing done, and I figure that I would share with kind of what the next step is. Okay, here we are. So I've already removed the turbo itself and the intercooler. And so what we're doing is we're getting ready to do the motor work with what we're doing here. I mean, I'm not going into the cylinders or anything like that. There's no reason to. It's a pretty fresh 103 kit in there, but I never did put an aftermarket oil pump in. I left the stock one in, and I just think we should probably update that. I'm gonna change the configuration on the cam somewhat too while I'm in there. I'm going from a Screaming Eagle 255 to a Fueling 574. They're not, I mean, I'd have to look at the chart again, but I think that they're not that huge of a difference, but I think the grind on the 574 is going to complement this turbo a little better. And then while we're in there, I think we're going to replace the rocker arms and just make sure all that's fresh. Yeah, so here's where we are now. We're going to pull this the cam cover off, and it desperately needs to be repolished, so I'm going to do that while we have it off, but we're going to get in there and pull the rest of it apart here. Okay, well, you're probably going to have my back to you again by a little bit, but anyway, we'll just start pulling this apart, and after I get the correct size socket here, some New Arlen Nest titanium hardware back in this bike. This thing's been done, I don't know, I did this about 10 years ago, so it is time for some updated materials, updated, stuff. And so yeah, I think it'd be a good time to swap out the hardware for some nice hardware. We have oil now, which is what we're supposed to have. Okay, that was a little sloppy and clumsy, sorry, but that's our cam plate. What you're looking at, this is the gear that's connected to the cam, this is the gear that's connected to the crank, these are the tensioners, and they actually look in pretty good shape. Nothing's real dirty. I'm pretty fussy on my oil changes. Trask recommends when you have a turbo on your bike to change your oil with Mobil 1 and every 2,000 miles. So I've religiously done it every 2,000 miles because the turbos on these twin cams get hot. And so I know we're running some heat through this motor, and heat is an enemy of motor. It's an enemy of the oil. So 2,000 miles. Easy peasy as far as talking me into it, because it's very just makes sense. It's cheap insurance. So anyway, we'll continue. perfect stuff in the toolbox. My toolbox, my tools, but at the same time, I don't have a ton of my special tools and specialty stuff that I keep in my big box shop in Mesa. So we'll just compromise here. You see I stuck this pick in here. That's just to hold back the tensioner for hydraulic. And so that'll work just fine. Well, I think that the next order is the full rocker boxes off. So I'll see you when we get that done. I don't mind seeing these stuck like this a little bit. That just means that they sealed up good and the gaskets did their job. Well, I ended up with a little bit of oil on the floor. Better clean up my mess here. Keep the landlord happy. Now we got to relieve the pressure off of the rocker arms, allow the push rods to relax, and we can get those out. Then we can pull the cam plate and the cams, and then literally we start reassembling. Fueling kit comes with new lift tensioners, assemblies, so I'm not going to save those, but if you look, they're not very worn. 34,000 miles, not very worn at all. Actually, they're in good shape, so that's one indication that it's had regular oil changes, which it has. Okay, so the motor's already been set to top dead center. That's one thing that you want to do so that you don't have any pressure. And I better remove the breathers first, because if you don't, all that pressure is then left on the breather bolts. And they're not designed for that. Whether or not they can hold it or not, that's beside the point. You don't want. I'm not even going to disrupt the breathers if I don't have to, because those are the updated ones. I put those in when I did the motor. One of the greatest inventions, the ratchet wrench. Remember the first time I had a set of ratchet wrenches in my box, I thought that I'd died and gone to heaven, that I truly arrived, and they were expensive. I can't say I knew when they were invented, but I sure remember them. Okay, well that's the front one, and we got the push rods out. I'm not sure. Got to do a little more investigating here of how much I want to take apart here if I need to. The tops of the valves look really good. The rocker arms look good. They feel. Don't think they have any play at all. But my plan was to replace the rocker arms if they're available. A lot of times they are on back order. So I'll figure that out as the time goes on here. Holy crap, that one's in there. Well, those were sealed up good. Real good. Looks good still. It's still alive. I didn't hear any engine noises, so it's not. I don't think that these were bad yet. The rollers go bad. Okay, here we go. So you can see we got a little scoring on our pinion shaft. It's not bad enough to have to pull the crank, but I'll get it smoothed out a little bit and get it cleaned up. And that's just from not aligning the oil pump well enough when you're assembling it. You're supposed to leave everything loose and rotate the motor. Like I say, this is 10 years ago now, so I wasn't the mechanic I am today, which I'm not saying I'm the best there is, but I have learned a lot in the last 10 years. So that's one of the things I may not have paid as close attention as I should have in aligning that pump so that it's not forced up against that pinion shaft. And anyway, so everything else looks good. I'm not going to bother with the cylinders or nothing, like I said, because that motor don't have 10,000 miles on it. So I'm glad I pulled this apart when I did for the better oil pump and cam plate, because like I said, I used the stock stuff. And well, it's just better. Have better oil pressure, especially when you're pushing oil through a turbo and the heat, the amount of heat that these things create because of the turbo. So I'm thankful of what I see. I'm glad it's not worse. I'm not excited about that, but at the same time, most of those pinions have a little bit of wear and scoring. That also tells me that the run out is a little bit off, which most of them are. I'll probably check it just to see how far out it is, but and then we'll go from there. And if it's way out, well then guess what? Motor comes apart. But I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't think it's that bad. So okay, well, that is disassembled. So now we can start assembling, and that's going to be another day. I'm going to go home. So see you next time.